Did you know that 80% of people have encountered a toxic person in their workplace? Think about that for a moment, Tate. Out of 10 of us have faced someone whose behavior drains our energy, chips away at our confidence, and leaves us questioning our worth. Now, imagine this. What if you had the tools to not just survive such interactions, but to thrive in spite of them? What if, instead of feeling trapped, you could take charge, set boundaries, and reclaim your peace of mind? This is the story of Amelia, a woman who found herself entangled in the web of a toxic relationship that threatened to derail her career and sap her joy. Amelia's life seemed ordinary from the outside. She was diligent, hardworking, and determined to make a difference. But inside, she was wrestling with a storm that few could see. Day after day, she walked into an office where one person's manipulative, negative behavior seemed to overshadow everything good. Amelia didn't know it at first, but she was slowly losing herself. The constant criticism, the subtle put-downs, and the endless drama began to take their toll. She doubted her abilities, questioned her worth. Amelia was the kind of person everyone admired: diligent, empathetic, and always willing to go the extra mile. She loved her work and took pride in her contributions. But lately, something had shifted. She felt drained, like the joy she once found in her job was slipping through her fingers. At first, she thought it was just the stress of deadlines or the natural ebb and flow of professional life. But as days turned into weeks, Amelia noticed a pattern. After every interaction with Sarah, a colleague she once considered a friend, she felt exhausted, anxious, and unsure of herself. Sarah had a way of weaving subtle manipulation into everyday conversations. A harmless suggestion would turn into a guilt-laden demand. Compliments came wrapped in criticism, leaving Amelia questioning her abilities. And then there were the moments of outright dismissal: ideas shot down, efforts belittled, and her confidence chipped away piece by piece. Amelia couldn't pinpoint when it began, but she knew one thing for sure: Sarah's behavior was affecting her deeply. Her once sharp focus was dulled, her enthusiasm for work was fading, and the effects didn't stop at the office door. At home, Amelia found herself snapping at loved ones, unable to relax, and second-guessing even the simplest decisions. Her mental health was deteriorating, her job satisfaction was plummeting, and her relationships outside work were strained. Something had to change, but Amelia wasn't sure where to begin. Amelia's journey toward change began on an ordinary Tuesday afternoon, though she didn't know it at the time. A flyer pinned to the office breakroom board caught her eye. Mental health in the workplace, recognizing and addressing toxicity. Something about those words struck a chord. She signed up, unsure of what to expect but desperate for clarity. The workshop opened her eyes to patterns she hadn't fully acknowledged. Gaslighting, Sarah's way of twisting situations to make Amelia doubt her own perceptions. Constant negativity, Sarah's knack for draining optimism from every conversation. And emotional manipulation, the guilt-tripping and backhanded compliments that left Amelia feeling small and uncertain. For the first time, Amelia saw Sarah's behavior for what it was: toxic. And for the first time, she understood that she wasn't powerless. The workshop taught her the value of setting boundaries, standing firm, and protecting her emotional space. Determined to regain control, Amelia started small. The next time Sarah dismissed her ideas in a meeting, Amelia spoke up, her voice steady but calm. "I feel uncomfortable when my ideas are dismissed without discussion." The room fell silent. Sarah, caught off guard, mumbled something about, "Just kidding," and quickly moved on. It wasn't a victory, but it was a start. Then came the moment of confrontation. Late one Friday afternoon, Sarah approached Amelia with her usual charm, masked in guilt. "Amelia, I'm swamped. Can you finish these reports for me? You're so much better at them anyway, and I'll owe you big time." The old Amelia might have agreed, driven by a mix of empathy and a fear of conflict. But this time, she took a breath, remembered the workshop, and said firmly, "I can't do that. It's important for each of us to complete our responsibilities." Sarah's smile faltered. Her attempts to push further met only calm, unyielding resolve. For Amelia, it was a small yet profound victory, a sign that she could confront toxicity without losing herself. Amelia's transformation didn't happen overnight. It was a series of deliberate choices, small victories, and moments of courage that began to reshape her life. It started with consistency. Every time Sarah attempted to undermine her, Amelia responded with calm but firm boundaries. When Sarah criticized her work in front of others, Amelia replied, "I appreciate your feedback, but I'd prefer if we discuss it privately and constructively." When Sarah tried to dismiss her concerns, Amelia calmly restated them, refusing to let her voice be silenced. Amelia also found allies among her colleagues. She started having quiet conversations with trusted coworkers, sharing her experiences and asking for their perspectives. To her surprise, many of them had their own stories about Sarah's behavior. Together, they created a subtle network of support, validating each other's experiences and finding strength in their shared resolve. But the most significant turning point came when Amelia decided to confront Sarah directly. After weeks of preparation, she asked for a private meeting. She walked into the room with notes detailing specific incident times when Sarah had manipulated her, dismissed her, or created unnecessary conflict. Amelia kept her tone calm and assertive. "Sarah, I want to address some behaviors that have been affecting my ability to do my job effectively. For example, when you criticized my presentation during the meeting last month without prior feedback, it made it difficult for me to implement changes. I'm asking for more constructive communication moving forward." Sarah, unaccustomed to such directness, reacted defensively at first, but Amelia held her ground. She didn't waver, didn't apologize for speaking up, and didn't allow Sarah to deflect or deny responsibility. Over time, Amelia's persistence began to change the dynamics. Sarah could no longer rely on subtle manipulation or unchecked criticism, and when Amelia's concerns eventually reached higher management, they couldn't be ignored. Sarah was asked to address her behavior formally, and the workplace as a whole became more aware of the importance of fostering a supportive environment. For the first time in years, Amelia felt empowered. She noticed a weight lifting off her shoulders, replaced by a renewed sense of confidence. Her focus returned, her passion for her work reignited, and her relationships outside of work began to heal. She realized that by standing up for herself, she had set an example for others as well. Amelia wasn't just surviving anymore, she was thriving. Amelia's journey wasn't just about confronting Sarah. It was about reclaiming her peace, confidence, and purpose. Her story reminds us that while we can't always control the people around us, we can control how we respond to them. The first lesson Amelia learned was the importance of recognizing toxicity. Toxic behaviors often disguise themselves in subtle ways. A dismissive comment here, a guilt trip there. But when you pay attention to how certain interactions make you feel drained, anxious, or doubting yourself, you can identify the patterns. For Amelia, this awareness was the first step toward regaining control. The second lesson was the power of setting boundaries. By clearly communicating what was and wasn't acceptable, Amelia created a shield that protected her emotional space. She learned that boundaries aren't about shutting people out, they're about teaching others how to treat you. It wasn't always easy, and there was resistance at first. But over time, her boundaries became the foundation of her empowerment. The third, and perhaps most transformative lesson, was the value of self-care. Amelia discovered that caring for herself, whether through journaling, seeking support from colleagues, or taking time to recharge, wasn't selfish. It was necessary. By prioritizing her mental health, she became more resilient, more focused, and more capable of handling life's challenges. Now, let me ask you, are there people in your life who drain your energy or make you doubt yourself? Maybe it's a colleague like Sarah, a friend who never reciprocates, or even a family member who manipulates your emotions. Take a moment to reflect. What would your life look like if you recognized the signs of toxicity and began setting boundaries today? Imagine the freedom of choosing how you engage with others, of protecting your emotional well-being, and of prioritizing your peace. Amelia's story is proof that change is possible. You don't have to be trapped by toxic relationships or environments. You have the power to rewrite your narrative, to demand better, and to live a life where your energy is spent on things and people that uplift you. Your journey might not look exactly like Amelia's, but the principles remain the same. Awareness, boundaries, and self-care. They're the keys to a healthier, happier, and more empowered you. Amelia's story shows us that no matter how deeply entrenched toxic influences may seem, change is always within reach. The first step, as Amelia discovered, is awareness. Take a moment to think about your own life here, their relationships or environments that leave you feeling drained, anxious, or less than yourself. You have the power to change this. Start small. Identify the toxic patterns, and don't be afraid to set boundaries. Remember, every no you say to negativity is a yes to your own peace, self-respect, and happiness. Think about how Amelia took charge as she started, by addressing small behaviors, building her confidence, and eventually transforming not only her life, but her entire work environment. This didn't just happen. It was the result of deliberate choices and the courage to stand up for herself. Now it's your turn. Take one actionable step today. Journal about any relationships that leave you feeling exhausted. Practice saying, "This is not okay for me." Seek support from friends, family, or a counselor to help you navigate challenging situations. Your well-being is worth the effort. Like Amelia, you can reclaim your peace, your happiness, and your confidence. Toxic influences don't have to define your life. You do. Take the first step and watch how your life begins to transform. The time is now. Your happiness matters. Your peace matters. So take charge today. For more stories of hope and transformation, don't forget to subscribe and join us again for the next chapter in the journey of life. Your story is just beginning.